How's it going, everybody? My name is Artorigold, and today we're going to be going over a Hanzo game. This is going to be a gold ranked game. So right off the beginning here, seems like you have a Rhine Roadhog pretty good. Oh, it's actually a really good pick off here. So when you're playing Hanzo, spamming your arrows at a choke point can be really good, especially your Stormbow. Your Stormbow actually does so much damage. Yeah, put right here in this situation, I'd probably... Yeah, if you get hooked, actually run away. I was going to say, in that situation, you probably want to push the Roadhog, and your teammate could probably help you with that as well. Really good work. Good. That's a really clean first point take. You guys did that almost immediately, and honestly, you did a really good work. So as Hanzo, one of the things you want to do, you kind of just want to spam your choke with your head hitbox level. You want to spam your arrows at the head hitbox at the choke. You're actually doing really good work here. All the enemy is really just lined up, so your peeking is good. Okay, so you did great, and you got 2 shots, which is amazing. You got 2 picks. There's only one thing that I would have done differently, and I think everybody would probably say the same, and that's, you know, why didn't you use your sonar arrow, right? Like, if you had your sonar, you put it somewhere on this wall, you would have been able to see all the enemies here, and you would have been able to line up your headshots probably a lot easier, right? So that would have been the only thing I would have done differently there. I mean, you still got the picks, which is good, but I think using your Stormbow arrow in that situation, or the sonar arrow in that situation, would have been a lot easier for you to get those kills. So here, you got a huge advantage. I'd probably be pushing up. There's no reason to be holding your bow with the choke right here. You got 2 people, and then your team got the Junkrat and the Reinhardt, so effectively they're down 4 people. So I'd be pushing up. Probably what you want to do in this situation is you want to get set up on the high ground. Wow, I have no idea where that McCree came from. Alright, so there's no reason to be sitting here shooting the choke. You should be on the high ground right now. You should be using your wall climb ability. Probably get up on top of the bridge. Push advantages. One thing that you could probably do here is use your sonar arrow on the tunnels, because you know on this map, on Eichenwald especially, you know that there's the main 2 entrances that most people go through is the tunnel right there and the tunnel right there. So usually you want to put a sonar arrow though, so you can get some really good, easy, clean peeks and headshots on anybody coming from these 2 areas. Sonar arrow is very good in that situation. Wow, he came out of nowhere. He came out from above. I'd love to see the kill cam on that. I guess he knew you were there. That's unlucky. There's not much you can do there. You should have been up top on the high ground a little bit earlier, and you should have been pushing with your sonar arrow on the tunnels. When you have picks and advantages like that, Hanzo is extremely good at killing people who are unaware, because the sonar arrow makes it so they're just gonna not pay attention and walk, you know, in one direction at the same speed. And yeah, sonar arrow so you can get good sight of them. And here I would move out of the Junkrat bomb. You don't want to be getting hit by Junkrat bombs. He's hitting you right here. So you want to get away from that. One thing I'm noticing is you're not using your space ability too much. It's a very low cooldown. It's like a 5-second cooldown. You can use it quite often. No reason not to use it out of spawn to get out of spawn quicker. Use it for mobility. That's rather unfortunate. You got hit right there. I think you were stuck in a trap. Really unfortunate. But you should definitely be using that that ability a lot more often. I feel like you could use it almost any time it's on cooldown, because it's such a low cooldown. You would save it for some particular moments, but against their team comp, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, here I would help your Reinhardt try to get out, because you're down your main healer, Moira, so he needs some help for sure. I will say one thing that I've noticed is you have kept your ultimate for a little too long. And one thing to take a note with Hanzo is you actually build your ultimate so quickly. Using your Stormbow can just melt tanks, and it does so much damage, and you get picks really often. He's a very strong damage dealer. And you would have been able to use 2 dragons by now, easily. You should have used your dragon. There's I mean, you don't have a Zarya, right? One of the big things that you look to use your Dragon Strike with is a combo with Graviton. Usually that's like the best combo, right? You have the Hanzo all into that. Here I would use your mobility move because you're getting hit. Whenever you get hit from anything, let's rewind a little bit. See right here, you get hit by something. right? Immediately when you get hit, you're down to 30 HP in your Discord. You probably got hit by a Zen Orb. Immediately you should use, just whenever you get hit by something, your reaction should be to use your jump move away. So you need to train yourself to move out of danger like that. That was really good, but you're still in danger. You're still at 30 health. There's no reason you should be peeking here. You should be either going down to this mini health pack room. You should be going down here getting a mini health pack, or going to your team. I think the mini health pack is much safer because it's right there and you can get to it pretty quickly. And you still have your ultimate too. So yeah, I feel like sometimes you could just throw your ultimate out there, especially if you're doing really well. And I think in this instance, you have all the gold medals too. So I think you've been getting a lot of picks. You've been doing a lot of damage. You probably could have been... I feel like you're holding on to your ultimate. You're not really going to find a big play of the game ultimate here with this team comp unless you had a Zarya. So there's no reason to be holding it. You could probably... One of the good things about it is if you get a kill on some people in the respawning, that was a pretty decent ult. I think you should have used that a little bit earlier. You've been holding on to your ultimate definitely a lot during this game. So when it comes to ult usage on Hanzo, you definitely want to use it in areas where people are all grouped up. And there's a couple of ways you can use it. One, you could use it for that combo. Second, you could use it when they're all grouped up in a narrow space. And a third good way to use it is to apply pressure to the point, which is something you could be doing here before your Reinhardt engages. And another thing that you can look to do is try to separate the enemy team. For example, if you use it on the point, so the point's right here, right? So you can use your dragon and have it go right here. And effectively what's going to happen is the enemy team's going to have to make a choice to either go to the left or go to the right, right? So they're going to be split up and they're going to be cut off. So then whoever gets caught over to the right side of things is unable to help whoever gets left on the left side. So using your ult to separate team is huge, especially here because this bridge is actually just so narrow. A really good spot to use it. Another way that I would have used it here, I would have used it earlier to help out your Reinhardt to apply pressure and split up the enemy team. Because as you can see the Ana would be just, if you used your dragon like right here, it would just completely split this Ana and she'd be an easy pick to just chase her. And she wouldn't be able to get healed because there'd be really tough line of sight and protection from her team. But another way you could have used it is you could have gotten over to this area and shot it towards here. And effectively, this bridge is so narrow that Dragon would have hit the entire bridge, which would have been another like really amazing use of it. So another thing that you need to pay attention to when using your Dragon is to line it up. You want to get it from the best angle. Really good headshot here. Use your Stormbow. There's no reason not to. Go for the Zen. Yeah. So Zenyatta is also really easy to kill with the Stormbow. You want to line your shots up. So one of the things that Hanzo is very similar to is kind of similar to playing like Zenyatta. Zenyatta does a lot of damage. He has no like fall off damage, right? So very similar to a Zenyatta style when aiming too. And right here you need to get out. You're definitely out of position unless you can get a Stormbow picker here, but it's very unlikely because there's D.Va. Oh my god, the Reinhardt actually flanked. He went all the way around and flanked you. Now that's a bold play. That's a bold play right there. That's unlucky. You should have gotten out though. You should have used your spacebar. You were completely alone. Your team was dead. They were backed up. As a DPS, you need to stay alive. So you can, as anybody, you want to stay alive. But you have to understand when a team fight's lost. You're not going to clutch a 1v5 like that. So if you're in a situation like that, it's better to escape. So here I would use a sonar arrow to check if someone was probably chasing you or get it. Yeah, you want to use your sonar in areas so you can get a pick on someone around a corner. It's really good. Oh, that's huge. Lucio should have died. Oh no, he was standing still. Okay, so I would be using your sonar a little bit more because you see, by the way, you have your dragon ult again. I think your dragon was a little too early and it was at bad angle. If you look at it, the angle just wasn't right. I mean, using it on the point is really good, but from here, there's just nobody on your team whatsoever. Nobody on your team is here. Your Reinhardt's still back here. He's not there yet. So one of the things with your dragon, if you are going to use it to apply pressure to the point, wait until the fight is about to begin, he still has quite a bit of distance to get there still. So you want to be a little more patient with your ultimate when it comes to those situations. You want to use your ultimate more because you're definitely holding on to your ult too much. But you definitely want to get a better line of sight. You were right next to a mini health pack, and like you want to make sure you're always at full health before you start an engagement. It looks like your team's doing okay. It might be winnable. It might be winnable. You got 3 there. Oh, no, 2. But you see right here, you have your space, and you're not using your space enough to travel across the map. Yeah. Always start with the sonar. Oh, perfect sleep. Yeah, that's good. Right here, I'd be going for that Baby Diva instead of shoot, because right now you're shooting at a Reinhardt shield. Look at this Baby Diva. She's just sitting up here shooting. She's not even moving. That would have been an easy kill for you. But instead, you go for this Reinhardt. And that Baby Diva was up there for a while, too. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at her. She's just standing still. Going for the sleep target is correct. Definitely agree with that. But right there, you should have gone for that Baby Diva. You would have also helped out your Ana, who was just trying to stay alive on this point. That's huge. Here I'd be pushing up. Getting a sonar. So when you have a sonar like this, immediately you want to use this sonar on one of these tunnels because, or you could also use it at the front door right here. That's also really good. Use it on choke points so you see where they're spawning. You don't want to hold onto your sonar like this. There might have been someone around that corner. You never know. So here you want to push forward. You want to get that sonar out as soon as you can around corners so you can see where the enemy team is. If you don't know where they are, use the sonar. It's so good. So here you want to go for that Zenyatta. I would probably, if I were you, instead of doing like you're shooting over here, I'd be pushing up here onto the high ground and getting a better line of shot on them. Because that line of sight right here allows you to hit the target much easier. So that's where I would be going, and that would be what I would be doing in this situation. This is kind of a weird angle. You wanna line up your shots. Like I was saying earlier, kind of like Zenyatta, you wanna line up your shots. If you line up things, kind of makes all of your arrows just land way easier. Here you're definitely down. I would probably be backing up. Unless your Doomfist is doing work. Anything can happen in a gold game. But you are down your main healer. You still have Ana though, but Moira's definitely has one of the more healing outputs out right now. So here, yeah, this would be a good ult. I was just about to say here I would probably use an ultimate to help apply pressure. And at the same time while doing it, it has the potential of getting a kill, and your team will have more breathing room so that your healers here use that space, get around a corner. It's really good. Your Reinhardt did a really good job blocking that too. And your Roadhog just did so much work with his ultimate. Here, use your sonar. So another thing, if you know where the enemy is going to come from, and in this instance, there's only 2 doors, the door here and door right here, you need to use your sonar arrow on those doors because that helps your team shoot at them before they come. That's something you definitely want to be working on here. So, looks like we swapped off Reinhardt to an Orisa. You guys have the Moira Ana. I mean, that's so strong. The healing is so strong. Moira has probably the most healing in the game, healing per second. And Ana with the heal grenade just amplifies that. So you have a really sturdy team that shouldn't die unless they get maybe bursted down by some sort of headshot Widow or Doomfist punch. And even then, that's not going to work on the tanks, but it will do a lot of damage. So one of the things you should be doing here if you're playing Hanzo at the beginning of every game, you don't know what the enemy team is going to play. And information, like knowing what characters they are, is going to be extremely helpful. So instead of playing around up here, you should be putting a sonar arrow into the enemy's base so you can have an idea of what they're playing. So you're really underutilizing this. You had plenty of time to do that. So I'm not sure if you're going to do it here. You're doing it a little too late. I mean, this is a risky maneuver. You should be sonar arrowing a little bit earlier. You might get a pick here. That was a really good pick, honestly. Even though you didn't use a sonar arrow, which probably could have helped you get that pick, you were still able to manage to do it, so well done. Well done. Yeah, getting out was good here. And so the enemy team has kind of a dive comp. I mean, they have a Winston Diva, so those are dive tanks. I'm not sure what else they have. They have a Far Reaper, which definitely aren't dive DPS. But Diva can her defense matrix can be really problematic for you, so you want to make sure you don't unload like all of your Stormbow ammo into her. Pharah is kind of tricky. Stormbow is really good against a Pharah because it's really hard to hit a Pharah with just her normal arrows depending on how far away she is. So deciding to use your Stormbow against her is really good. I definitely think that it helps you. You should do that every single time. Yeah, your whole team should be pushing this Brig. Absolutely, she should be dead here. Yeah, that's good. So here, maybe use a sonar. I would have liked to see some more sonar usage because you don't know. One of the things you can do on Eichenwald is this little corner that they come up. You can't see it from here, really. There's kind of a bad angle for it. But there's a little angle, and that's where you want to use the sonar ability on because you want to use it on choke points, and then you can wait for them and then hit them right in the head as soon as they come around that corner and they're unaware. So you should be using your sonar a lot more. Here I would be using my... Stormbow on the Winston when he leaps in, because you can melt a Winston. Yeah, that's good. I would definitely engage on this Winston. You can just get right inside a Winston bubble and Stormbow a Winston to death. It's actually no problem at all for you. D.Va is a little bit trickier because, like I said before, her defense matrix can just, if you decide to just unleash all, it's good. I like that you're using your dragon here. Honestly, it's really good. I think you used way too many ults, though. I think you should have used your ult, and that was it. Unfortunately, your Moira ulted, and your Junkrat used Tire, so kind of too many ults for a fight that was already won. I do like that using one ult, and especially as Hanzo, because you get your ult so quickly. Especially if you're just using your Stormbow and tanks, you'll get your ult no problem whatsoever. Unfortunately, they use too many ults, so you might lose this fight now because I definitely think they have the advantage with ults. They have Rally, they use Bomb, they use Moira ult. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Using your Stormbow to break a Winston bubble is not that good. I don't recommend doing that. You don't get any value from it, unless maybe your team was there. I probably would have just tried to escape. In that situation, there was no reason for you to stick around there because the team fight was definitely lost. And using your Stormbow on a Winston bubble doesn't really do anything unless your team is already pushing him. But other than that, yeah, you don't want to use it on Winston bubbles. Using it to help break a shield can be decent, but your regular arrow is good enough for that. So here I'd be using your Stormbow on the Winston immediately. Using it on the Brigitte's okay. She's very low. I don't know how much you want to commit to this, though. Ooh, 1 HP on that Reaper. I wouldn't get too close to Brigitte, though. Here, you could definitely engage on the front line. I feel like the entire enemy team is really weak. You need to get involved here. Your team definitely needs your damage output. At this point, just leave the Brig alone if you want to. I don't know about that escape route. That's okay, though. It's a little unlucky. I feel like you hesitated too much there. It seemed like you couldn't make a decision, right? You either needed to commit to killing the Brig and kiting her, or run away and help your team. You weren't really very effective there. You didn't really do anything. You basically shot at a Brig and then stood around and you were guessing what you should have done, and you needed to kind of figure out what you needed to do there. You definitely need to commit to a kill or get out. You can't waste time like that. As a DPS, your team needs you. You need to apply that pressure to the enemy team. Just as much as a tank can apply pressure, DPS can apply pressure. Oh yeah, so this is perfect right here. What I'd be doing is waiting for that D.Va. Oh, that's so unfortunate. But what you want to be doing here in that situation, when you see a D.Va is about to bomb, what you should have done is you should have used your sonar arrow right here, right? And then you could have waited, and then as soon as you saw she was about to get into her mech, she stands still just like this, and then you would have been able to headshot her no problem. So unfortunately that didn't happen. Here's a good point for you to use your ultimate. I think I would use it here on the objective, especially in this situation. This is a good situation because, the bridge, your dragon will cover like 90% of this bridge. So the enemy team has a really tough time dodging it. And from this angle especially, it's insanely good. So I definitely want to see you use it here. Unless you can clean it up without the usage of it, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a reason not to. Especially because you get your ultimate so quickly. It was a really good opportunity to use your ult. It definitely seems you should have used your ult there. because your team is just running around and they're just having a tough time. You're not holding down your shots too much, too, when they're actually hitting the ground. Some of them, not all of them. Yeah, you really should have used your ultimate there. There is no reason not to use your ultimate. You had the perfect lineup. If you have a perfect lineup like that and the points right there, the enemy team has to be on it. You could have helped your team out because your team was just taking too much damage from that Soldier and Reaper. They're having a really tough time. So here you probably want to put some sonar up, probably around a choke so your team sees them coming in. Luckily your team was able to... They didn't lose it, so that's really good. You do have the faster respawn at this, but I don't think that you had a reason to, because you're going to get your ultimate back pretty quickly. The Pharah is really difficult. When you're playing Hanzo and there's a Pharah, you really need to, like, that was a really good headshot. You have to really make up your mind if you want to ignore her or go for her, because she does deal a lot of damage to your team, and you don't really have anybody who can deal with her. Maybe your Ana could shoot at her, but her primary job is to... Well, hopefully not fall off the edge like that. You don't want to do that. But usually her primary... Okay, so Doomfist is your other DPS. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of people to shoot at the Pharah to contest her. I guess the Ana can maybe make work of it, but you kind of want to use your Stormbow on her. Even close the gap on her. You shouldn't be afraid on the Pharah. If you just get up in medium range for your Stormbow, you can do a lot of work to her. That ultimate... So, it was okay. I guess you got the baby diva. But the angle wasn't that good. You definitely probably could have backed up a little bit more to get a better angle. I think you definitely need to work on where you throw your dragons from. The angle is very important. Getting one kill with it is acceptable though. Even though it was only a baby diva, I think it was good. All around, that was a pretty good defense. I think your team played really well together. Things to take away and to improve on with Hanzo is make sure to line up your shots and to line up your ultimate. If you line up your shots, you'll have a much easier time hitting your targets. And the more you hit your targets, the quicker you're going to get your ult, which leads into the next thing. You need to make sure to use your ult more often. You actually have a really easy time building ult with Stormbow. Unless you have a Zarya that you can combo your dragon with, there's no reason for you to hold on to your ultimate for so long. Just throw it out there to apply pressure to the point. Other than that, focus on shooting on areas that are narrow, that people can't escape, and you know that the enemy team is going to come out of. You definitely need to use your sonar arrow more, especially on chokes. Start to use your sonar arrow at the beginning of the game on the spawn doors, trying to figure out what the enemy team is running. Use your space to escape more, and don't be afraid to use your wall climb to get on the high ground. I felt like you didn't get on the high ground as much as you could have, which would have helped put you in a better position against enemy Pharah, because if you get close enough to the Pharah, you can just use your Stormbow, and she'll just die almost immediately. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you've learned a couple of things. I hope you've taken away some things from this. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.